Okay, let me explain to you my thought process right now. So, where do I even begin? Well, let's start with 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, I made a video discussing that I've been having panic attacks, quite violent panic attacks. Um, they were brought on by just my nervous system being fed up with feeling like crap while I'm out of the house, especially in transit, whether on the bus or in a car. And so my nervous system developed a response to that uh, tries to protect me from those bad feelings, and that's where the panic attacks come from. There is a specific reason for it. I've talked to parents and friends about this, and not all of them, but many of them, they focus on treating the panic attacks themselves and don't seem to acknowledge, until I explain it to them, the reason why they're there, and not treating why they're there is not going to treat them, the panic attacks themselves. So, 3 weeks ago, panic attacks, and been going, I've been going for car rides to my appointments with my father in the weeks following that video. And the pain and discomfort from being out of the house still there. Some days are worse than others. And what I've been noticing is that the panic attacks seem to have followed essentially the 5 stages of grief, uh, which from top of my head are sadness, anger, bargaining, sadness, anger, bargaining. The last one is acceptance. I forget what the fifth one is. And so my sadness, anger, or denial, sadness, anger, bargaining, acceptance. That's the 5 stages. And the panic attacks, I've noticed that each week and sometimes by each day they would shift to another stage of the grieving process. I would deny that I would experience panic attacks, and so I just push down the feelings, and then they resurface with the vengeance. I would cry and be upset that I'm going through this. I would bargain with my dad, saying, okay, this is the last one I'm doing for next 5 days, for the next week. This is the last one I'm doing for a while. Or if I do this, then you're going to have to buy me McDonald's. And then last week was, I felt very much more serious in my tone. It was a serious begrudging acceptance. And last week I had by far the most important appointments I've had yet. The first one was for counseling at this rehab center, and it's a very extensive one that will be going on for 12 weeks, with one session per week, and they're usually like an hour. And these are supposed to be like some of the most like well-trained professional therapists in this area, at least. So, and it's all being paid for by the government. And I knew I had to go to this, and so my strategy for entering for going to this was to shut down parts of my brain. Instead of going for walks, instead of activating myself before going for the car ride, which I thought would be effective in my previous attempts, instead my strategy was to just be depressed, just manifest feeling really sad and depressed and low energy. And for the most part, it worked. The first day, this was for the therapy appointment on Wednesday. It did work. I did have, my anxiety did evolve into gastrointestinal issues like gastric reflux, diarrhea. And so that gave me a bit of a scare, and for the first like 5-7 minutes, in the car ride, I experienced recurrent gut pain, but it subsided eventually. Instead, it transferred through pain I felt throughout my nervous system, just deeply embedded within my veins. Yeah. And this discomfort I usually feel, it stops once I sit down and talk to these specialists that I've talked to every single week now. It's once I'm actively engaged in something to distract my mind, I don't notice the discomfort or pain anymore. And so I'm taking careful note of that. And I think I can use that to my advantage with some strategies. And so this appointment, it went really well. It was thorough, and so I'm quite pleased with that. And then I had a subsequent appointment with a psychiatrist to discuss my medications and my diagnoses. And that appointment went even better. Asked me a bunch of questions that I've not really been asked before. If I were, then I was asked when I was a child, when I was first diagnosed with my autism spectrum. And so that appointment definitely gave me a lot to consider with concerns of questions of medication and diagnoses. 2 diagnoses that they seem to be speculating around right now is uh, persistent depressive disorder and borderline personality disorder. And so you can look that up if you want to. Um, and those diagnoses seem to be congruent with everything, but it's not up to me to decide. Like, I could advocate and say, yeah, I think I probably have that, but I don't want to be diagnosed because I encourage the diagnostician to diagnose me with it. Yeah. And so that's essentially where I'm at right now. But the day after that, it's like 3 very important days seem to. It's very coincidental. That first day was therapist, second day was psychiatrist, and then the third day I had my friend come over, which I've not seen him for weeks now. And so it was good to catch up and to see each other again. And he may be watching this portion. And if you are watching this portion, timestamp it in the comments and say hi. If not, that's okay. Yeah. And we had some pretty good chats, and I made a post about it already on the YouTubes. And just left some lingering things in my mind, like envisioning the future you want, that I want, envisioning the future I want. And what you think you create. That's very common to know in this field of mental health, is you create what you think. And I see it as examples in my life. I think about experiencing pain, therefore I experience more pain. I think about creating Force Souls cards, therefore I create Force Souls cards. It's a real mind over matter. There's many ways you can say the same thing here. But what's important about what he said is that he likes to envision the future we can have, which I won't get into here, but it's very pleasant. Another thing is that that I'm really good at solving problems or thinking about things critically, and so get to it. He didn't say it like that, but in other words, get to it. Get to solving your problem. And that relates to him talking about his process of writing down and figuring out how to solve his problems. And so I took note of his strategy and have implemented it a little bit so far, and it's something I sometimes think about. And yeah, that was last Friday, and today's now Monday. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I've just been chiseling away on things lately. Filling out more forms, and just organizing my room, things, writing down to-do lists, creating vision boards, creating more For Souls cards. I can't stop. I tell myself all the time, okay, this is it. But no, I'm on a walk, and I can't stop thinking about games we've played, and then new card ideas, revising cards I've already created because they're not balanced. So I'm going to um, get rid of their description and replace it with a more balanced description, or take out certain cards altogether, whether handmade myself or ones that are officially in the game that I think are just is just unbalanced and it's just a bit unfair. So it's something I think about way too much, but it's good. It's good to be thinking about creative projects. I think it's better to create entertainment than consume it. And so here's my hierarchy of scale of entertainment. At the lowest baseline scale of entertainment is watching YouTube, watching TV, watching someone play video games. Watching is the lowest baseline. Then a step above that is playing video games, and then a little bit higher above that, playing card games, board games, and then above that is playing sports, playing physically demanding games. And then above that is creating games, creating entertainment like this, creating a YouTube video that I'm still gonna be way too lazy to edit, but I think that's part of my charm, is having this unedited content. And so that's where I'm at with my thinking right now. There's another portion of my thinking that's really critical to all of this. A while ago, I don't know when. It must have been maybe a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Maybe a whole month, 4 weeks, 5 weeks ago. A voice in my head told me, Liam, the answers you are looking for are within, so look inward. That you can read up on a lot of information and try to learn it and apply it into your life, trying to think the right ways, trying to act the right ways, but I think I'm at that point where I can kind of sideline all that bullshit, all that noise, and just quiet it down and look inward, do some introspection, some meditation, to find important answers to my problems, my questions. And so that looks like various things, like memory exploration, delving deep into my mind and unearthing memories. And it can be quite astonishing and kind of cool. Closing my eyes, or even I can just stare off blankly at the table and just sift through memories of my life and visualize it. And through this journey, things will come up and I'll have to pause and consider it and take note. Like the other day, I had a dream about my old best friend, Malcolm, and later that day, I was doing some memory exploration and I was remembering moments with him. I don't know why, but something inside just told me that's important to remember Malcolm. Yeah. So I've been doing that. And then another part of uh, looking inward is uh, noticing things left unresolved. Uh, there's things left unresolved with my old friend Camellia, and there's old things left unresolved when I joined the Rotary Club. And so I'd like to have a resolution to that eventually. Not right now, but it's in my mind now that it's something I have to resolve. To lose some tension inside of me. And so, just gonna get to work on it. What's motivating me right now, that was sparked on Friday when I hung out with my friend, is doing things to have more moments of fun and joy. That if I'm not doing anything, then I'm not creating more of those moments. And so it's what's getting me through doing the very mundane things, the stressful things, the things I just don't enjoy. Is I'm doing this so that I can have more moments to positively remember. More moments where I'm happy. I'm having a lot of fun. I think that's what's really important, and so that's why I created this this vision board of self-actualization. Yeah, I think you can see that. Yeah, just to look at. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think that's everything that I need to really say is that there is internal fluidity, uh, like this light golden syrup that's as viscous as water, and it's being channeled through bits of my bones and bits of my fibers, and it's giving life to this reanimated soul. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I hope this was all crystal clear. And yeah, I really hope someone gets something out of this. Yeah. So, thanks for watching, by the way. Uh, really enjoy the support. Someone listening to what I have to say. Someone caring. We all want that, right? Yeah. So, that's it for now. You'll see me in the next video. See ya.